I am here right on time, just about 1 minute behind. So it is Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. and I am here for my weekly infertility related talk. So it's been a big couple of weeks. I went through the whole IVF process with you guys to kind of give you the behind the scenes look. And I've been journaling it all along the way as well. If you haven't seen it, check it out on my website. I'll put the link on later, but I've been journaling just about every day, and I've got to say it's been very interesting. So this topic this week is as I wait for my test, so I had my transfer on Thursday. For all of you that don't know, it was a 3-day transfer. We transferred 2 embryos. One was an 8-cell and a 9-cell, so it was pretty good. Thanks, Arun. So now we wait until Monday when we have the pregnancy test. So it's been a long time. Well, it hasn't been a long time. It's really not a long time when you put everything in perspective. But you know, whenever you're waiting for something, especially as big as this, it feels like a long time. So as I was sitting here, kind of reflecting on, you know, everything that just within these last 2 months really is when I came out with my infertility struggles. So much has happened, you know, with me personally and mentally, and then also just like with people reaching out to me. It's been really great. So I was thinking about it, and yeah, it's true. I mean, it seems obviously we want a positive result to have this IVF cycle be traditionally successful, but overall, even before getting the results, I will say that this cycle has been successful for me in many ways. So I narrowed it down to 3 ways. So the first one would just be physical, and the fact that, you know, it was kind of after we got that diagnosis from the one doctor at Columbia that we'd have less than a 1% chance, and we went to Cornell and we tried, you know, the cold culture and a 3-day transfer, and it worked. I was still, you know, was not that sure within my mind if we were just, you know, super lucky. I think we are still super lucky, but the fact that I was so nervous this time around that we weren't going to be able to get the transfer again, which happened the 2 out of the 3 previous IVF cycles that we went on. And one, you know, it is a real thing, the age. It's only been 2 years since I had Tegan, and within those 2 years, my AMH level went down further, and I did have about half the number of eggs that I did from my previous cycle. So, you know, so that was real. So I'm glad that we are trying now and didn't wait that much longer, just because as I get older, it'd be more difficult. But you know, if you've kind of kept up, we only had 4 eggs that were retrieved. 4 eggs that were retrieved. 3 of them were mature, and 3 of them actually fertilized, which is great. I mean, I was incredibly bummed when I heard that only 4 eggs were going to be retrieved, because that's a pretty low number. And we had 2 transfers, so it was actually like our best case scenario that, you know, physically it worked out. So in that way, it's a success, and it gives us hope even if this cycle doesn't work out. If we want to, you know, do another cycle, at least there's hope that it could work out in the future, and hopefully a doctor will give us a little bit more than a 1% chance. So that's the physical side. I mean, but I will say what this talk is about is mostly on the mental side of why this IVF cycle is a success regardless of the result. I mean, one, doing this has forced me to go way beyond my comfort zone. I still remember when we decided that I would come out with my infertility story. I had never been so nervous that day that I was supposed to go on here and tell it for the first time. Because like I said, I had never even really talked about it even with Matt, and not to myself either. So imagine that it's like suppressing it for all these years. all those emotions and kind of hiding it. And it was shame, and like to finally release it. I mean, it was extreme kind of therapy in that sense. And I kind of underestimated how much it would impact me by coming out with my story, not only for other people, but for myself and my own mental sanity in a way. Because I never realized how much of a toll it took on me to just keep it hidden all those years and not being able to express it to anyone or tell anyone what was going on, and just kind of put on that happy face all the time. And it's really exhausting. And then to finally be able to release it, to tell my story, and then to go on this IVF cycle and be able to kind of, one, journal it, which was really therapeutic for me as well, to kind of write every day about it and to share it with everyone. And it just felt like I wasn't hiding anymore. Everything was out there, and it forced me to come outside my comfort zone every day. And now that I look back on it, like, it's still, you know, very awkward to come out and talk about such a sensitive topic, but it's helped me so much. I mean, the idea that I went back to acupuncture, when I went back to the acupuncturist office and to the Cornell office the first time just for my consults, and I had that just like sinking feeling. It's trauma. Like, it was a traumatic experience from the previous years that I just never really dealt with. And I felt like this time around, especially going through this cycle, I finally dealt with it. And I've learned so much more about myself throughout this process, and I feel so much more comfortable with myself, and I feel like I know myself a lot better than I did. And also, I mean, it sounds corny, but you kind of appreciate what I went through in the way where since I struggled, or since I went through so much, one, I know it's made me a better person, and I think it's also made me a better mother as well for it, because if I had no problems with trying to conceive, you know, I think I would be a completely different person, and I would be a completely different mother as well. And I don't wish a struggle on anyone by any means, but I'm just saying that in the end, it's like struggles can actually make you who you are. They actually do make you who you are. And it's kind of in the obstacles, sometimes the detours steer you in the right direction. So I guess what I'm saying, like, in struggles is where greatness is sometimes born, and it's in my struggles with infertility that I feel like I've become a better person and a better mother for it. And it wasn't until this cycle where I finally came out and really thought about all the feelings I went through, and I was kind of self-therapy, I guess, on Facebook Live and journaling. So that is a main reason why this IVF cycle has been a success, regardless if I am pregnant or not. Just because, you know, I really got to know myself a lot better, and I realized what I went through really shaped who I am now. So, I mean, that's huge. So that is the main reason. And then the other main reason is you guys. So, you know, coming out, one of the big reasons I wanted to come out is also to kind of shatter this perception that everyone's life is picture perfect, that we show on social media, and, you know, none of us have things going on in the background. And I remember when I was trying so hard and I would see, you know, baby pictures or whatever, or pregnancy announcements, it would hurt a little because, you know, I'm human. I tried not to let it bother me and definitely try to feel happy for the person, but it's hard. So I realized when I was starting to flood the social media with, you know, Tegan pictures, and I felt I felt bad doing that because I didn't want to kind of feed into that as well if someone was having difficulties. And I just wanted to let people know that it's not all picture perfect all the time. So I feel like I definitely helped to do that. I've gotten so many messages from people that I know and strangers that are going through, you know, the same thing and asking questions, or, you know, and some of the best messages I've gotten are from people that haven't gone through any infertility problems, but, you know, maybe apologize because they were guilty of teasing someone in the past about not having a baby, and now they realize maybe they shouldn't do that, and they should kind of think twice before they, you know, make baby remarks to someone, because they never know. And that alone, like, if I could just prevent one person from making a comment that could hurt someone else's feelings, you know, that alone makes this IVF cycle and my going public on live feeds and journaling a success, I would say. So that's the reason why this IVF cycle is a success, no matter what the outcome, you know. You know, of course, I'm human. I want a positive pregnancy result from it, but I know it's in this whole process, if it doesn't come out positive, then, you know, I know that I'm strong enough to deal with that, and Matt and I and Tegan can figure out the next step and what the best step is. So basically, I'm not going to let something kind of mimic my happiness. I have to have a second kid in order to be happy. I have to have this. I'm more trying to be like happy within myself and not dependent on outside things that are definitely outside of my control. That's another thing that I'm trying to let go of, is control. Because, you know, we all have this sense of control. I said in my first infertility, when I was telling my infertility struggle, that, you know, I had a plan. Like, we all have plans. I go to college, I get a good job, I get married by the time I was 30, I would have, you know, 2 to 3 kids by the time I was 35. It was like all set, and I'd live happily ever after. And that was like my plan. That's what, you know, is kind of ingrained in my head. And I mean, I was very lucky. Basically, everything happened to plan up till the baby part. And you know what? I feel kind of lucky that it didn't happen, because then I keep on going on this endless cycle of like, okay, now I have the baby, now I have to have this, and I have to have this to be happy. And it would just be endless seeking of having in order to be happy, when, you know, really I should just be happy and not have to be dependent on anything else. Does that make sense? I think, you know, it's kind of like you want to be, your first step is to kind of like love yourself. I know this sounds cheesy, but not dependent on anything else about what you need or want. So, you know, when it comes to kids, it's really hard, because yes, you really want, you know, I was definitely in that mindset, like, I have to have a kid in order to be happy and fulfilled. You know, if you asked me before this whole struggle, I would say I have to have two kids to, you know, fill that picture perfect life that I want. But now it's, you know, it's forced me to kind of change my views and kind of look more inside and not be dependent on outside things that I can't control. So, I don't know, with that in mind, I feel it's funny. I mean, I'm anxious to find out the pregnancy results, but I also feel a little bit at peace in a way, because this whole journey, just within these 2 months or so since I came out, I feel like I've just grown so much as a person, and I've just realized so much about myself, and it's just going outside my comfort zone and just like expressing all my feelings. because those that know me know that I'm a very quiet person. I would never normally do something like this, so I went way outside my comfort zone to come on and share something so personal. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that all these people have reached out to me as well, and continue reaching out to me. I am more than happy to help, or just listen to you vent. I totally get it. But yeah, I'm here to help as well. So that is why this is a success, and yeah. So let's see what happens. I guess the next talk will be on next Tuesday, and I should know by Monday if I'm pregnant or not. I was joking with Matt or someone that maybe I shouldn't tell you guys the results, but then that'd just be mean, I think. It'd be like, sorry, I've been live feeding this whole time and I'm just not going to tell you guys. What do you think? But I will probably tell you guys. So come next feed, I should have the news, and then we'll see from there. But in the meantime, I have been having a little bit of fatigue, a lot of fatigue actually, and a little cramping. I'm trying not to overthink it. You know, it could be anything. It could be good signs, could be bad signs, so let's just wait and see and be patient. And yeah, and I've been trying to, I can't exercise, which is kind of killing me because I really exercise to relieve stress, but I have been meditating, which has been a lifesaver. And for those that don't do it, especially if you're going through stressful periods, I definitely recommend it. I just put on my site a free 10-minute meditation that Ashley was so kind to make for me, and I've been doing it before bed every night, and it's been so great. Because, I mean, this is not only for infertility, it's for anyone that has stressful thoughts or, you know, just needs to like unwind before bed. And I just put it on, and I do this one laying down. Of course, you don't have to, and sometimes I fall asleep, which, you know, probably isn't the best thing, but it's just such a nice way to kind of detox my brain and my mind from the day, and it makes me feel so refreshed. And it's only 10 minutes, so the commitment level is not big. It's very manageable, and then once you get into it, you can kind of progress from there. So if you're interested, I have that on my site. It's there for a free download. So take a look and start relaxing. Yep. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here. You can private message me as well if you don't want to be public. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.